Alright, and we're live. What's going on, man?
Alright.
A lot. Well, we're here today to chat about stuff going forward. Like, wanted to chat about where you first started with playing a band, what you did by yourself. Got some notes here because we didn't get any help from our listeners.
No help from anybody.
Anyone that's out there, shame on you for making me work for this podcast.
Rude.
But anyway, we'll start out with where did you first, what was your first instrument you learned, and why?
First time, well, I was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. My uncle played guitar a lot, and we were always at my grandparents' house, and he would bring the guitar, and he would just play, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, really. Most of the time I was like, what the fuck is going on? Where is that coming from? How's he doing all that stuff? Yeah. But I was too scared to touch it. Yeah. So I didn't want to break it.
So an adult toy?
Yeah, I was that thing's expensive, I'm not touching it. I don't even know if it was. I can't remember what even kind of guitar it was. But yeah. So I was probably 10 or 11 where I was that's pretty sick. Yeah. And then I kind of just stopped caring about it after a little while, because when you're 10 or 11.
So the shiny object had stopped phasing you?
Yeah, I was
yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Cool. Because I was too scared to touch it, so I didn't really have a go of it. Yeah. So I didn't want to ask my parents for one, because I was I don't have no idea how much it is. It's probably the same price as a car. Yeah. When I was that old. Yeah. But yeah, I stopped caring, and then just started playing more sports and stuff. And then when I was about, I don't know, probably 13, so not that long after, I stopped caring about sport. I went
I started caring about sport and stuff.
Yeah.
1.5 years or something.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I was going from primary school to high school, I was in the year underneath my age. So okay, I started year 7 when I was 13.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't 14 like everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And we started having music, because it's compulsory, music. I was there's that guitar, I'm going to play that thing.
I got kicked out of music.
You did?
They had a real Christian, Catholic, we're at a Catholic school, a real Catholic teacher, and she was one time she just cracked the shits and went crazy at me for talking. And I went, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. And then she just went, what did you say? And I just went absolutely nuts. And then I in shock that she was going crazy about that, I went, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Then, I was done. There was the worst link of words that I could have picked. Yeah.
Left, right, and that was it.
Yeah. And then, so you went into music in school.
Yeah, and then I started learning a bit of theory, stuff like that, and I was this is actually pretty sick. Yeah. So I asked my parents, I was I really want to get a guitar or something, but I didn't really want to play guitar because everyone else was playing guitar.
Oh,
I wanted to do something else. Yeah. So I learnt how to play bass first. Mm-hmm. But I was I obviously playing guitar at school because you have to, you learn all these crap. So I was keyboard or guitar, and I'm not playing keyboard. When I was that old, I wasn't playing keyboard.
I had a mate that fully ripped on the drums. He practiced this little segment that we had to do for music, and he tore it apart. And I was fuck, you could be good. And he goes, oh no, that's just the assessment. And then he just didn't do it again.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There is people like that.
He does. Yeah, he's one of my best mates, and he just kind of just goes one thing to the other. Doesn't really have any direction. And but if he focused on that, he really did it so quick. I just remember he did it really quick, and he looked up to we listened to Blink and stuff, so he just froths on doing fucking everything
just
so
pump
quick.
It.
Yeah, and then and then just didn't care after that. He doesn't really care about heaps of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he's mediocre at a lot of things, that's pretty much better than excelling at one thing.
yeah.
It is what it is. If you can be good at mediocre to good at a lot of stuff. Yeah. That's way cooler than being excelling at one thing. Yeah. And just being useless at other shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big respect.
But yeah. So you went into music. Yeah. You learnt your theory and stuff there. What's the difference? Do you think you brought it up? What's the difference with bass and guitar? What do you think's easier, or is there parts of playing guitar that's easier than bass and stuff like that?
A lot of people say bass is just easy as piss. It is. Yeah. But you have to be good at it. Yeah. If you're bad at it, it's very noticeable. Yeah. It's really the bass is the rhythm of everything. If like the rhythm's off,
Yeah.
then
It was like that day in the gym, and you were like, "There's no bass in this song."
Yeah,
And
nothing.
I couldn't tell that much, but I could hear Tom Morello like heaps,
yeah,
and then just like there was none of that, especially with something like Rage Against the Machine. It was just like very, oh yeah, there is none of that, like.
and how shit was it? It's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
there is nothing going on here. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah.
So it's like, for people that say bass is crap, it's like, it's probably not as exciting to like normal people that just listen to music all the time, but it's super important, and it actually really is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like if you get like good bass players,
Yeah.
crazy.
And like you can't really like play bass solo, can you? Other than like maybe blues.
You can,
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
but it's just like a very niche kind of corner of music.
Yeah.
To listen to just like bass music.
It's
Like there's
I
these
listen to
two
bass.
dudes from like Newcastle, I think.
Yeah.
They're called the Omnificent or Omnificent or something. I don't know, I can't really remember off the top of my head. But they were like crazy bass players from like different bands, I'm pretty sure. And they joined they joined together and made one band.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm pretty sure there was next to no or none guitar whatsoever. It was all just bass.
Just bass.
And it was fucking crazy.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
It's like weird,
Yeah.
but it's sick.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember if there's any vocals. I don't even think there's vocals either. So it's like completely like just like bass instrumental.
Yeah.
But it's nuts.
So so you learned bass first. How long after that did you transition to like wanting to then play a bit of guitar rather than just bass?
Probably like a good, I don't know, maybe a year. So like I started really learning bass, or when I got a bass for the first time was when I was 14, 15. So year 8.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then by the time it was in year 9, I'd kind of like started picking up guitar a bit more.
Yeah.
Mainly because like my best mate in high school, he's still my best mate now, but he played guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because we skated a lot. Like that's all we did. Like we just went to school, came home, skateboarded, went to sleep, woke up. That's all we did.
So you could do the other thing together now as
so
well.
So if it was raining, we couldn't go skateboarding. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So he started learning guitar, and I was like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn guitar as well.
Yeah.
And then we both just, I don't know, started just pumping through it.
Did he teach you much?
He taught me like a couple riffs here and there.
Mm.
It's like we were super into like AFI and the Misfits and stuff back then. So it was like pretty like hard, fast, like just punk music.
Yeah, yeah.
So he taught me quite a bit to start off, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with like chords and chord patterns and stuff like that. He went to guitar lessons. I fully didn't. I never had guitar lessons in my life.
Yeah. I wish I kind of wish though that was like one thing that my parents like had me do like on the side, because obviously like with me it was like sport, footy, like everything, like that was like what you did. And, like I did play reps and stuff, so there wasn't heaps of time, but I was never pushed to do an instrument because they just had no like real, like Dad listened to cool music, and that's how I got into like partly started to get into rock, I guess. But he still listens to like that redneck shit now, like it's just like Akadaka and shit like that.
Yeah, full Bathurst music.
Yeah. But that's how I like got into it. But he just never like, he'd talk about his mates that could play guitar, but he was like, I'd just be like, oh, can you guess? No, my fingers are too big. I'm like, people have big fingers, they can like still play. Like, yeah. But that was one thing I wish that I got put into like lessons or something, just a little bit, just to be like, oh yeah, like. But I guess same thing. Heaps of people were doing it at that time.
Yeah.
It's not now. That's when everyone's got like their old, like what's the shorter guitar called? Like what was the one that you said we played, like you played
just
in
like
school?
the little nylon string, like classical acoustics.
And they're just still sitting in their room. Just like I still haven't. There's you could probably pull on one of the strings and it would like cross across the whole fretboard.
Yeah.
But that's like one thing that like I look back on. I was like, I kind of wish I pushed for that a little bit more. But
see, that's the thing. I could have played rep sport and I didn't.
What in what?
Cricket.
Oh, in cricket, yeah, right. So is that what you were into when you were like 11, 12, or did you play later?
Yeah, that's what I started playing cricket when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
And stopped playing when I was playing properly when I was like 15.
Yeah.
16.
And you played, so you played some reps, did you? Did you go into any rep teams in those age groups?
No, I just went to the tryouts like every year for 5 years.
Yeah.
But my rep era in our area,
yeah,
like 2 of the team that would have been my position, ended up playing for Australia anyway. So what does it matter? Like I was never going to be.
Yeah.
And I was never going to like make it any further than what I was
Just
doing.
maybe do
So I
a
was
little
like,
bit of reps and
I'm doing
stuff
something
like
else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, like you see, like in reps now, there's guys that like I know that are just still like chasing that like that time to get into the NRL, and like at the point that they are now, like I'm 25, and you see guys retiring at 30. You push for another year, you might have like maybe 3 good years.
Yeah.
Like and maybe play a number of games in it, and they'd probably like put you in for like a couple of games, take you out, drop you again, whatever, and then you don't really play that much anyway.
Yeah,
and then your body's fucked as
well.
well.
You play pub league anyway.
Yeah, you play pub league. Look, like down here, like you can play for some good money, like pub league. If you count like first grade, because like I played like out at Collies, and they're like 800 a win, 500 a loss if you play first grade for them.
That's
like
pretty sick.
That's pretty good. Like that's pretty good. And you like at the end of the year, like if you win say 80% of this, like 15 games or something like that, that's pretty good money. Like to play like club footy
for what 22, 24 rounds or something.
Yeah.
That's
Oh no,
sick.
they probably only play each other maybe 3. They play each other 3 times. So you probably play 15 games a year.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. To play like, and you only have to train twice a week. But like now they brought in a little bit of a what's it called, salary cap type thing. So then those teams can't. Yeah. Because you got teams like Corrimal and stuff that just can't afford that shit. So
like and there's big teams like Collies.
Yeah, Collies West, stuff like that. Going forward, like you started playing with your mate, like skating and stuff. When did you feel that you became like confident enough to actually play in front of people? Were you at a time where you're like, I'm not playing in front of anyone yet? Like that's far no way.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, and then we just like school pretty much just like you had to play like assessments and projects and stuff in front of class, and I was like, I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to fail music, so I just did it.
Yeah,
and I kind of just
got used to it.
This is fine.
One of the things is as well, like I feel like if you're around musos, so like people that are playing music as well, whether it is the keyboard, whether you're just in a music class, at least those people, you all have a very similar goal, is to make it sound good and go. And if people stuff up, it's like, oh, I know why they stuffed up kind of thing. Oh, you like buzzed a string. But if you're sitting in front of your fucking mates, or you're in front of say for example, like me, like I put up that video the other day of me just like doing a bit of strumming and stuff. I worried about that more because I was like, no one even listens to music properly, especially the music I listen to. No one listens to that kind of music, and so when they hear you maybe not play so good, they just kind of fucking want to lose heart. Like,
and it's hard when it's like just you.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a band, it's like there's like 4 other people. It's like that's fine.
Yeah.
If I stuff up, no one's even looking at me. It's fine. When you're on your own, it's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
I would never do solo stuff. Fuck that. Never.
See, I'm not like I don't like. I honestly want to get to the point, and I've messed around with it now that I've just like, I don't. What are those like? I just know those like 4. I just know those 4 chords, and I've just been playing around with different strumming patterns on them, and like even just starting to like do my own strumming patterns, and I'm like, I want to get to a point where I can like write like short stuff.
Yeah, that's what
and just have. And just like get it done. Like I hear some of like the best songs, say like I know there's one song by like Trophy Eyes, and they have like 4 sentences said twice, and they just change the recording, maybe play it a bit faster and get a bit heavier. But like it's it's one of their best songs. It's the one that I listen to, and it's like because it's short, people listen to it again and again and again, and they want more. And but yeah, it's like it's once again when you're like not hanging around that kind of like musical orientated like people, like I'm around the gym all the time. Yeah. No one gives a fuck like about that kind of shit. Yeah. And then you kind of have to find that motivation. It's not like you're having a mate going, "Did you practice today, bro? Yeah. Like what did you come up with today?" Yeah. It's not that. You're just sitting there just going, "Oh, I just fucking did like clean and jerk. My shoulders are fucked. Like I ripped my hands off. If I grab the neck of the guitar, I'm just gonna fucking like hurt
pretty
anymore
much.
and shit.
Like my hands are ripped.
Yeah.
I can't play.
I don't want to blister my fingertips when my inside of my hands already done. Yeah, so with Yeah, so you just started like playing it. So you went from school, and then like after school, like what happened with performing and stuff then?
Well, I left school when I was 15. So
Yeah.
like at that time, you could leave school if you had a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I got a full-time job, so I could leave school.
Playing in a band.
Basically. Exactly. Exactly. I was like, I'm leaving so I can get a full-time job and afford to play in a band.
Oh,
And I did.
yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna
mad.
quit. And so I quit school. Like I work with my dad. I've worked with my dad since I was 15. So I've still got my first job.
So you get along.
Yeah, it's chill. So
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, you can leave school. You can come work with us. We can give you like X amount of hours a week. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, yeah, 15 at the time. So I quit, and then while my mates, like me and one of my other mates were the only two that quit. The
Yeah.
one that I was playing guitar with in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But we were like, yeah, we'll start a band, but it was just us. Like we didn't know any drummers,
Yeah.
singers, anything.
Yeah.
But all our other mates stayed at school
Yeah.
and they kept doing music.
Yeah.
So Jade, my mate, he stopped kind of playing.
Okay.
He just was like, he didn't stop playing, he just played less.
Yeah.
And he started working with his pop as like a mechanic.
Yeah.
But I kept playing, and some of my other mates that stayed at school ended up like meeting all these other people just from going to shows. Like we've been going to shows since we were like 14, like hardcore
Yeah.
shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they met like drummers,
Yeah.
singers, everything like through just going to shows.
Yeah.
And I mean, I went to the shows, but I was like, I didn't really speak or anything. I was just sat there and just watched all the bands. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah, but you like watching, you're just like looking at like what they're doing, like how they like carry themselves on stage, and you just get like I found I was just used to get like kind of just so excited about it.
Oh, it was the
like,
best.
Oh, like even just before COVID, it was like one of the I went and saw Knock Loose at Dicey Riley's, and I'm just going,
Yeah.
this is the band that I've fucking been listening to so much. I missed them at what's that one up in Victoria?
Unify.
Unify. I went to Unify 2018, I think it was, when they were there.
That was a big one.
And oh yeah,
That was a big Unify.
Parkway and Amity Affliction.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one.
Yeah, bro. And it pissed down the whole time. It pissed down the whole time. My missus, she broke her ankle
Perfect.
in like maybe maybe the third last band of the first night.
Perfect.
And she was just like limping around. She had it strapped up. She had it bandaged up because they were like, oh yeah, just put a bandage on it because it looks like it's getting a bit swollen and stuff. She went home, made it like fully fractured and everything, and she spent like nights on it, like moshing and stuff. And so it was like muddy, it was pissing down, but like I just remember I missed Knock Loose because we went in, and because we didn't know we were supposed to take our ID to get our like straps on, we thought like we were already in, so we go up. She like left her ID, and then I'm just like looking and watching Knock Loose, like it was when he still like had his hair long and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking through, and I'm just going, this is fucking so hectic. And then got to see them with their new album, which is fucking awesome as well.
Much smaller, more intimate
in a
place.
more intimate. I'm like two people from
Yeah.
the lead singer, and like it was insane.
That was a good package, that show. That was actually
it was
sick.
fucking insane.
Malevolence are great.
What, and Jesus Piece
And
before them.
Jesus Piece, yeah.
He's crazy, dude.
Aaron,
He comes in.
Aaron rules.
He comes in and he's like dressed like a bit of a hipster, like had his like
Yeah.
like crucifix earrings
He's
in,
got
like
his
wearing
thin
his
rim
glasses.
Yeah.
And then he's just
Probably like a
taking it
Ralph
off.
Lauren
And
shirt.
what did he have written on his stomach?
I have no idea. Probably something super crazy.
Something like a piece of shit or scumbag or something like
Probably.
something retarded like that. Eh?
He's ruthless.
Yeah, but man, that was mad. I think we spent it was like $25 a ticket or some shit.
Yeah, it was pretty expensive.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So
I met
totally
Jesus
worth it.
Peace. Like we played a show in like Europe somewhere. It was like Germany something. It's called Fest. It's like a super hardcore DIY fest.
Yeah,
And it was like we were one of the only like death metal bands playing. It was fucking odd, but it was sick. Because I was like into hardcore, so I was like, this is mad. I'm seeing all the bands I like.
and they think we're weird.
They don't like me, but I like them. This is great. And we met Jesus Peace because through that show, it was sick.
Yeah.
And Aaron's just a cool dude,
Yeah, no.
cool guy. Stayed in contact with him ever since that day. It was like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
He's a sick dude.
It's crazy until you meet those people and they're just like they're exactly like you are. Like they're exactly like most people that are into that music are fucking pretty similar people.
Yeah.
Like, you can get along with them. It's different when you go, like, I mean, like, I've been a couple of times to something like say, like a Harbour Life or some shit like that with, like, my mates, and the demographics are fucking different. That's why there's so many fights and shit there. That's why there's so many, like...
It's incredible.
It's like, we go to these little gigs where people are like elbowing each other, knocking each other over, and then they go and help him up.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen at those ones.
Weird.
Someone spills a drink on someone, they fucking get, like, king hit, like, and shit like that. It's fucking retarded.
It's weird for people, like, from the outside looking in, but, like, when you're in that kind of circle, it's like, why wouldn't you pick them up?
Yeah.
Yes, you hit them, but why wouldn't you pick them up?
Yeah.
When you go to, like, something like that, or you go to, like, a club or something and someone punches someone, you probably fucking, I don't know, all your mates probably get bashed as well.
Yeah.
It's, like, completely weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's, it's one of those things, eh? But, so with that, like, with the... When after, so you went to some of these smaller gigs and you just kind of watched, how did your first band come about, and what was it called, like, where did you play in it and stuff like that?
My first real band that I actually played in, like, we played shows, I was just, like, filling in.
Yeah.
But my first, like, band where I had heaps of people, like, well, not heaps of people, but it was like 5 of us playing in a room.
Yeah.
We used to practice, there was 2, so I used to practice at Wollongong PCYC because it was free.
It's a basketball. Is that the basketball court one?
Yeah, they used to have shows there. Parkway played there once. It was crazy. With Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
No, with Ike the Prom Queen. I think.
Fuck, that would have been insane.
I can't remember. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But we used to practice there. So it was me, 2 of my mates from school, and one of our mates from the skate park. He sung for the band.
Yeah.
And that was called Seconds Before Departure. There's videos on YouTube. Don't look it up. It's pretty bad.
Of what? Like what?
Like just us jamming. Like playing in like a jam room.
Yeah,
It's like we were like 16, 17, so like it was fucking sick.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very good. We actually played Aku the Prom Queen cover. Can't remember. Sharks in Your Mouth for sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, Say Goodbye actually.
Yeah.
Classic. And the other band that I would played with in like the jam room was in Kiama Jam Room. And I can't even remember how I met anyone in that band, honestly. I think it was just like from MySpace and stuff like that.
And they've like... MySpace.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to put you in my top friend group.
It was that
Bro,
long
you
ago.
should come along with my band.
Dude, pretty much how it
and
happened.
hang out.
Pretty much how it happened.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm still mates with all of them.
Yeah,
So it's weird. That was called Yours Truly. I was just like a fill-in for that. And then my first real band was called Transitory, where I filled in and played like real shows.
Yeah.
And that was with other people that I just met through the show, like through just going to shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We played, funnily enough, it was weird, like when I was younger I always wanted to play at the place that I went to the most shows. So I went to pretty much every single show at Lake Hill or PCYC from 2007 to when it closed. Yeah. Which was 2000. How old was I? I might have been 18.
Yeah.
So it would have been. Fuck, I don't know. How old was I when I was 18? What year was it when I was 18? It was 9 years ago.
I think for me, it was like 2013. So you were how?
It was 2011.
2011.
So for 4 years, I pretty much went to every single show at that place, and I was like, I really want to play here.
Yeah.
And I ended up, like, I played one show there, and it was fucking crazy. It was a crazy show, and that was with Transitory. It was my first ever, like, actual show that I ever played, was, like, there.
Yeah.
It's kind of, like, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, I think it'd be always, like, who goes there, is it Hockey Dad from down that way as well?
Yeah.
And they went back and they played a show there a couple
Did they play at Windang Bowling Club?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, like, they think that's so fucking cool, because it would have been fucking packed.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy playing somewhere where, like, you don't, like, when you're young and you're, like, looking up to, like, these people that you're watching, you don't expect to play at a place, like, where you went. Yeah. It's, like, it's weird.
I think that was like the same, if I had to like think of it as something, when I was growing up, when I first got into fitness, like obviously I came up in the bodybuilding scene, and you're watching all these influencers and they're getting like they're people getting Gymshark sent to them, they're getting supplements and all that kind of shit. You're going, this fucking shirt is worth $80 on Gymshark. People are buying it because this guy has it, and then he gets like these free fat burners and protein and all that kind of stuff. When I competed in 2018, I just had companies sending me everything.
That's crazy.
Like Macro Mike would send me like 4 bags of like protein. They'd send me their like chocolate brownies. Then I'd get shirts and shorts and stuff sent to me. And like, it's just like, I used to think that this was like number one. Now I'm like competing and I'm just kind of annoyed that everyone's messaging me.
Yeah.
But like, obviously you like, it wouldn't be like in the same case as yours, but like it could be if it got to a point where like, you know, when people see bands and like, oh my god, I just wish I was famous, and then they get famous and then everyone is just going, oh my god, can you get a photo with me? And you might be going, oh fuck, like, am I get a bit over it? Like, I don't know, like I don't know, that's a way of explaining it or not, but yeah, you think you think it's so out of reach when you're not there, like when you're not there, and then when you're least expected, when you're like cruising the most in it rather than trying so hard to get there, it just comes.
It's there.
And you're like, oh, okay.
That's pretty much exactly how everything's happened.
Yeah, like everything just has to be like, just more, I guess more chill, I guess, like, I don't know. Like you said, you just like went and cruised at these shows and stuff like that, and like met all these people through it, and like you didn't go there and kind of go, hey man, like this is my
I wasn't
car.
there. I wasn't there like on a business trip.
Hey, what's your name, man? I actually play guitar. Like I want to play in a band. Like can I play with you? And they'd be like, oh fuck, get a load of this guy and shit.
Fuck this. It was more like I paid my fucking $10 entry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stand next to you. We're probably gonna connect sweat together.
Yeah.
And we'll just be mates after that.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much how it happened. And then it just,
With with moving forward, like after you've had we're in those bands, what was your first tour? How did it come about? And like some stories from that.
First tour, before I actually played on a tour.
Yeah.
Before I was in a band that played a show that like played more than one show in a row.
Yeah.
I did a lot of touring just like as like a merch guy, like just driving.
Yep.
My first tour ever, I guess, was Weekender. So we just played, like they played 3 shows.
Okay.
And we did Geelong, Geelong, Melbourne, and another Melbourne. So we did 3 shows in 3 days.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever, and that was with. It was weird. A guy that I was in my first band with.
Yeah.
After we stopped playing, whatever, like we didn't do anything for a while.
Yeah.
So the other guitar player and the singer, like, branched off.
Okay.
Just did their own thing for a while.
Yeah.
And he wanted to start a new band and was like, yeah, whatever. And they started this other band called Graves, which is like.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, where have I heard that name before? Maybe the vocalist? Who's the...
Reese.
Is he from down... I just can't... Georgie, my partner, knows someone from that band.
Fucking Dave.
Dave?
Yeah, because he messaged me the other day and was like, how's the podcast with Logan? I was like, I haven't done it yet. But I was like...
Wait, is that Dave? Is that Kim Burns?
Dave Hurley.
Dave Hurley.
It is. It's Kim's boyfriend.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He messaged me the other day and was like, how's the podcast? And I was like, with Logan. I was like, I haven't done it yet. But I didn't really think to be like, how the fuck do you know Logan? You know what I mean? I was like, what? But
like, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, like, what's going on here? But yeah, I toured with them a lot. Like, I did all their tours. I think I missed one.
Great.
One of their tours ever.
Yeah.
The first tour we did was Geelong, Melbourne. I can't remember what year it was.
Yeah.
And that was with Sean, who was in my first band, Reese, who sung in my first band, Ethan, who was in a band that we used to watch at shows at Lake Laura PCYC. So for me, I was like, fuck, I'm mates with bands I used to like now. It's weird. Dave and Josh Russell, who was in other bands that I watched, and I was like, fuck.
Just like giggling like in Step Brothers when the dad's getting heaps excited about.
Pretty much. I was like, how am I mates with people that I used to like pay to watch?
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And now they're just going like asking you for advice and
Pretty
shit.
much.
Like.
That's just weird. I'm an idiot. that was like my first tour.
Yeah.
And then the first ever proper big tour we did was with I Declare War. I Declare War from Portland.
Yeah, right.
In the US. Flew over here, and that was their first like main support international tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I Declare War, Graves, Iconoclast. We did Perth, and just all the big cities. So Perth, Brisbane, Gold Coast. Actually, not Gold Coast. Newcastle, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide.
So, like, did you do those two in Sydney and Melbourne because they sold out? No,
we just do it over, like, most of the time it was like a over 18, under 18, because there was no like all age venues really at the time.
Yeah.
There's still kind of not.
Yeah.
But we did like, it was stuff like that. Because they were like, there's a company called Destroyer Alliance, and they had like all the clubs, so they had like Hot Damn, Bang, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thriller, I think they might not have had Thriller. There was one in Brisbane, I can't remember what it was called. Black Market in Adelaide, but they were all like clubs. So you couldn't really get all ages in there. Yeah. So if you wanted to tour, you had to play like two in the big cities.
Yeah. Were you, after those like weekends, are you worn out? No?
I was pretty chill.
You just or you just pumped like the whole
3 days, it's over already. What do you mean? We played some more.
Just like, so when you played Sydney, was that 2 shows in one
consecutive days? Most of the time.
Okay.
Sometimes it was in the same day. Like bands would play in the same day.
Yeah, so it'd be like, I don't know, maybe like, would you say the under 18, over 18, it might be like the under 18s earlier,
Arvo,
and then they play it again?
Most times Arvo show.
Yeah. Who do you reckon gets the most worn out? Vocalists?
Drummers most of the time.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of compound movements.
Singers get pretty worn out if they don't look after themselves.
Yeah.
It's like yelling for half an hour is quite strenuous.
Yeah. When you like, if you actually yelled, like, you know how when people say like, oh, they're just screaming, and then they go, do it, and then they yell, and it's like, you're gonna fuck up your voice if you do that.
Pretty much. I would say probably drummers get the most worn out. They do the most work, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Insane. Do you have any interesting stories from a tour?
There was 2 tours we did. I think they were consecutively as well, actually. Yeah. We were driving from Brisbane home after a tour. Yeah. So the end was like the 11th day. Yeah. They just did like 10 days, 1 day off. So it was like 4 on, 1 off, 3 on. That was it. Yeah. The end of the tour. And like it was like, I don't know, fucking like 1:30 in the morning. We had like a 12-hour drive from Brisbane back here. And like the trailer wheel just like exploded off. Went all the way down the highway, bounced over like the median strip thing, nearly hit a car, all that sort of shit. We had to take all the shit out of the trailer, and put it in the van. And there was like me. We had another guy with us as well. So there was 7 people in a 10-seater van with an entire back line of merch. So like, we're tying back line, so there was all the merch that we had left.
The tent? Did you have a tent as well?
Nah, I wish. So it was all the merch, 2 guitar cabs, like oversized guitar cabs, like 2 big ones. Yeah. 2 guitar heads in road boxes, so they were like
massive,
big, probably like that big, that deep. Yeah. All the drums, so 2 toms, all the stands, kick drum, cymbals, bass rig, bass cab was about, I don't know, about that tall from the ground, by about that wide. Bass head.
So it was just a perfect, real comfortable drive home.
It was sick. It was perfect. Yeah. That was one, and then the next one, the same thing happened again, but the frame on the...
Wait, with a different
trailer? No, same band, different trailer.
Bro,
different direction.
This band is cursed.
Yeah,
for travel.
Different direction.
Yeah.
So the frame, like the A part of the trailer was like cracked and just like snapped. It was like...
Oh, you mean from between the car and the trailer snapped? And
yeah, like the weld was like cooked.
Bro, that would have fucking been... The car would have been like driving and then just lost all weight and like... Just
yeah. Yeah. There was that.
Oh.
Two of those, both of them happened. And then it happened later on, like way later on, when I was in a completely different band. Like I was playing in this band and a wheel fucking exploded off a trailer again. And I was like, why is this happening to me?
What is with the exploding wheels on the trailers?
And we had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So this time we were like fairly light band on stage. We didn't have like cabs and stuff like that, and so we didn't really have that much space. Like we had tons more space.
Yeah.
I was like, again, a trailer has broken. This is the third trailer that's ever broken.
Yeah.
It was shit.
So did you you toured overseas as well, yeah?
Yeah.
What were those tours, and like how does like when you were we'll go back a little bit, after you're done with those tours, how does a band sometimes just go, look, we're just taking a break for a bit and you don't fucking see each other for a while?
A lot of bands do it, honestly, like if it's like long, like later on I experienced like long tours. Like I was in the US for like 8 weeks. Like we did like an 8-week US tour.
People get over each other
quite quickly. But it's not to a point where it's like I want to fucking go home. It's just shut up. Like just no one speaks anymore. Like you just sit in silence and it's fine. But most of the time when we were doing the grave stuff, there'd be one tour, and then by the end of that tour there'd be like the people on the phone like, do you want to do this tour? So it'd be like, sure. Yeah, sweet. So it was kind of just like
churn them out.
Yeah, and for me it was different because I wasn't in the band. Like I wasn't playing, so I didn't have to go to practice or anything like that.
Okay, so if they ever said like, oh, so for you, it wasn't more of a band breakup. They'd just be like, oh, bro, we don't really need you anymore. Like, is that how it came about?
Well, I just like knew when to be there and when not to be there.
Okay.
It's like if there was a tour coming up, I'd be like, what's the date? Where do I have to be?
Yeah.
All that sort of shit.
Okay.
It's like Ethan like lived around the corner from me.
Yeah.
So I just like before the tour, I'd just go there like 2 days early. Yeah. We'd sort the merch out, and then I'd be like, all right, sweet.
Oh, because you were see
you on Wednesday. So I'd get there on Wednesday, and then we go.
Yeah, so our merch guys, like, most of the, like, when you see a band and they have a merch guy, will that merch guy be able to, like, play an instrument in the band, usually?
I could have played every instrument in that band,
that's
except
right.
drums.
Yeah.
And probably sing. You wouldn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I could have played guitar or bass, basically, is what
okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
I could probably play their set back to front still now.
Yeah.
Because I heard it that many times.
Yeah. So vocals is one thing that, like, even if you fuck up, people do look at you though.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
They do. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
So like with your bro, crack that monster. It's just
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, go bro, crack it.
I'm thinking about it. It's probably warm now. No, it's not that warm. It's alright.
Oh, you should have held the mic to it.
I should have. I should try to get a spono.
Yeah, just plug Monster, just hold it up and just go like at the camera now. Monster Energy, Spono the podcast.
Just a slab for the boys, please.
Just a quick slab.
It's only coming from...
Where's it coming from?
Wearywood, New South Wales. Surely that's not far from here.
Come on, man.
New South Wales is pretty small.
Whoever's listening and involved
Imported
in
New Zealand?
Oh, look, they're even... I don't think anything's getting... Oh, no, we'll get imported.
Yeah.
We can get it over here. They can get it. Get it done.
If Coles can get it.
Whoever's listening, get it done. Or we'll just keep drinking and paying the money for it.
I'll keep paying $6.50 for 2.
yeah, perfect, eh? So first overseas tour, and how did that come about? What was the conversation? How did they get you to go see?
It was pretty weird because the band that I ended up joining and playing in, like and touring with, was a band that I liked. I was like a massive fan of this band. I seen them play at Unadera like a bunch of times, like at the big communities, the whole thing. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is pretty sick. So I was like just a fan of the band. And then later on, with the Grave stuff, like we did a tour. It was Acacia Strain, Aversion's Crown, who I ended up being in, and Graves. Like that was like the tour. Mm-hmm. So I was like, sick. I'm touring with bands, 2 bands that I was like, I really like both of these bands. So it's pretty sweet. And I just got along with everyone in the band at the time. I still get along with them. It's not like I fucking hate them.
Yeah, but I got along with them at the time.
Now I'm It's a completely
We
different.
went on a long tour.
It's a completely different lineup now.
Yeah.
There's only 2 people from that tour that are actually in the band.
Yeah.
Like 3, but 1 doesn't tour.
Yeah.
So I got along with everyone basically, and we just kept contact. Like they would come through, I'd go do merch for them at shows, like so they wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Basically, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just come up to Sydney.
Yeah.
So I would just come hang out, I'll just sell merch for a night, and then fucking whatever.
Mad.
Just have done with it. And then they went through like this big shift of having members. Like they got a new singer. 2 of the guitar players, one of the guitar players left. Chris stopped touring.
Yeah.
He's the one that writes everything.
Yeah.
And their bass player left.
So he still writes everything, just doesn't tour?
Yeah.
Has he just grown out of it? Like, is that
no,
the kind
he
of
just
thing? Or?
had other stuff. Like, I think he just had a lot of like home shit to do. So and he just like, I don't know, stopped touring, basically.
Devil children.
Yeah. He has a kid now.
Oh, there you go.
But at the time he was just like, he just stopped touring.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think maybe the drive to tour was like not there.
Yeah.
But he just really wanted to keep writing. Like he wanted to write and write and write, which he just does. I mean, it worked out because he writes everything and it's all sick.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, they had people leave. They got a new singer, new guitar player, new bass player. Went from having 3 guitar players to having 2.
Mm.
And by that time they had like a tour, like a European tour coming up. I didn't know about it obviously at the time.
Yeah.
But Jaden messaged. It would have been Jaden, the drummer, messaged me. It was either Jaden or Mick. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Messaged me one afternoon, and they were like, "Do you want to do a tour?" I was like, "Oh yeah, fine. Whenever you want to do it. Like, no dramas." They're like, "Oh, so we're going to Europe, and it's like with these bands." So it was like with Nasty, like a band from Germany, Malevolence.
Yeah.
This other band from Germany that I don't think they exist anymore, Vitya. They're just like a metalcore band.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, sick, I'm keen for that. At this point I didn't have a passport and I'd never been overseas. But I was like, yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Yeah, that sounds
and
good.
I didn't own a bass either.
Okay.
So I didn't have anything at the time. I was I have nothing, but I'm going.
I'm willing to commit to the travel.
I'm going. I've never been overseas. I don't have the equipment. I pretty much don't have any of the facilities to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going.
Yeah.
So that was how that came about. So I rushed pretty hard to get a passport because it was like, I had, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks to like learn the full set.
Yeah.
And I'd never really played like that style of music before, like just like ruthless death metal. Like I could play like 1 or 2 songs like here and there of just like random bands, but I've never played like a full 35-40 minute set of it.
Wow, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll learn the songs, like just teach me, like send me videos of the riffs and I'll just put them all together. So they did. I borrowed a bass off one of my friends. I bought some pedals. Yeah. And I got a passport all within maybe 3 weeks.
When that kind of thing happens, and this is why so many people don't ever like reach their goal that they set. It's because they don't set a goal with a timeline. You had 7 weeks and you rush. You're like, I need to get this. So it's like passport, bass, pedals, learn it. Like you had that deadline. It's like so many people like don't ever like get close to that kind of like getting things done like that. And it's when it feels the best, eh? Like when you're at that airport and you're like, fuck, I just did all that in 7 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, god damn.
Yeah.
Before that, I'd never really like. I was just playing like hardcore band. Like I wasn't playing any hard music or anything.
Yeah.
Like I was just chilling. We played 1 show in Melbourne, 1 show in Adelaide. That was like the extent of where I'd really played before. Yeah. And then my first show with them was in like fucking Germany or some shit. Yeah. Frankfurt, I think. No, it wasn't in Frankfurt. It was. I can't remember.
But how many shows did you play across Europe?
That tour was, I think, 30.
30 shows?
Yeah. Maybe a couple more.
You said 8 weeks?
No, that was in the US.
Oh, that was the US?
Which came after.
So that, with the same band?
Yeah.
No.
So, and before that tour, I'd never jammed with anyone in the band before. Yeah. And I flew up to Brisbane. I'd never even met the guitar player at the time, Liam. He was new. Yeah. He came just before me and did like I think he might have done 1 European tour before I joined. and he just like picked me up at the airport, and like I just stayed with him.
Yeah.
Like I'd never met him before.
Yeah.
So I went up 4 days before we left. We flew out and we jammed twice, and that was it. That was fine. Like we jammed. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it was twice. We jammed twice within the 4 days. So I flew up, hung out, just did whatever, jammed, flew, and then played our first show like 3 days later.
Fuck. And it all ran smoothly.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm pretty sure there's footage of it on YouTube, and it's actually not bad.
Yeah, right. Did did the whole trip run smoothly?
Not really. Not like for me. Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
But like for the touring package, it was kind of like there was just shit happening all over the place.
In what way?
Like there was a band that was supposed to come over from the US, they just didn't come. So it was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's just shit with like members of bands just being stupid, not turning up.
Okay.
Doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But
I guess you get that kind of you can get those characters, hey, like people that
they're everywhere. Every single tour I've been on, it's been like that.
Well, you even look at and they're like letting their like mates down.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like one of the things, and you probably relate it to like. Did you watch that Michael Jordan documentary?
No, I was supposed to.
Who's the guy that dyes his hair?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman would just go and like come to train for
that
2
is
days.
exactly what this guy was like. He'd turn up for the shows.
Yeah,
but
like, he would turn up for like the practice before the game.
Yeah.
And they would show him, and he would just go. They'd be like he would go on. What did he go on? He went on like a reality TV show, the night before they were supposed to play.
Yeah.
And then didn't turn up to practice, and then rocks up and goes, "Oh, they're sweet." And they kind of like let him off every time because he was such a big part of the team. They just kind of continuously let him off.
He loves a good rebound. Yeah. If he didn't play, they would not get rebounds.
No, it's just like, oh, he's an animal. But that's a pretty good documentary. But I'd relate it to him because like you're just going, oh my god, why did you just leave? Why did you just go there? Why are you at the casino till 3 o'clock in the morning when you play the next day and stuff like that? But yeah, so that kind of stuff happens. Yeah.
There was one, and he had to like catch a train from a completely different country to make a show. Like we were in like Italy or something.
Yeah.
And he had to get a train to like France, or vice versa or something.
Because he was just late. Because he was didn't get the plane.
Just a kook.
Like, yeah,
just
right.
A fucking kook.
Yeah.
He's a rapper now. Dave, my man.
A rapper.
Yeah.
Another Dave.
Yeah. It's another Dave.
Another Dave. Okay. Daves are out. So what about the US trip? Did that come out? You got home and then they called you up, or was that already pre-organised or what?
That was like, I did the Europe tour, just assuming I was just like a fill-in. So I was like, oh, if you need me to fill in for anything else, like just message me. It's fine. I already know how to play the set, so it's like I have to learn anything.
Yeah.
And it was like weird timing between a new album and an album they put out before that.
Yeah.
So they weren't really playing any new songs at all.
Yeah.
In that like 2 year period.
Yeah.
So I was like, they weren't going to change the set, so why would they teach someone else basically?
Yeah.
And like I feel I obviously went okay.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, it's chill. We're going to America like this date.
And how much time was between it? You hadn't been overseas, and then you go to Europe and the US, what, within the same year or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, mad.
I can't remember what month it was.
Yeah.
At all. I remember.
It's cold over there?
Europe,
cold or hot?
No, it was hot.
Okay.
First Euro tour was like now, 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, right.
We played a show in France 4 years ago, like 3 days ago.
Yeah, so there would have been a couple of months, and then it would have been closer to our winter again if it was hot over there.
Yeah, it was. So
you would have been like over
summer.
there now, and then in a few months you went over to
US summer.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, US, probably not summer, but whatever one is in between winter and so Christmas over there is winter.
Winter.
Whatever the next one is.
Spring.
Yeah, I think.
Whatever.
I don't know. I'll just look it up.
Whatever. Summer, autumn, winter, spring. Right. So.
Smart.
Yeah. What were we up to?
In between Europe and US.
In between Europe and US, and then you found spring as well?
Well, whatever the 5th month of... No. the 4th and the 5th month of America season.
So April and May over there.
Yeah. We got there on the 5th of April.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So whatever that season is.
Whatever. I guess. It's pretty cold over there. Was it real cold? Snowing anyway?
On one of the drives, I've never driven overseas before.
Okay.
And I was like,
on the other side of the road.
Yeah, other side of the road, other side of the car.
Yep.
Everything was opposite. Yeah. Everything was opposite.
Oh my god, I could not drive manual. That'd be so.
It was whack. Lucky our van was auto.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
But everything was backwards. But I'd driven a Euro car. Like my dad had like a Ford Focus that was Euro built, so everything was backwards. So I was like, oh, that's
blinkers
fine.
on the other side and stuff like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. I'm talking the other side of the car.
Yeah, it was
that's weird.
Whack. Sitting over here, like this, and then having a passenger there. But you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's
that's
odd.
Fucking weird.
But there was I had to drive through a blizzard. Like the only time I was like, oh yeah, I'll drive today. It's all good. Like everyone rests. Like I haven't driven yet. It's chill.
You're safe with me.
I was like, it's chill. That was the first time I'd driven overseas. Was a blizzard. First time I'd seen snow in real life.
That's what I was gonna say. Because I still haven't seen snow either. I don't really care for it too much. I don't get snow trips. I'd rather probably be like around here, I guess. Like, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen snow. But that's You enjoyed the snow then? The blizzard?
It was pretty sick. Yeah, it was sick. Like driving it was pretty shit. Like I couldn't see like.
Do you have chains on the tyres and stuff like that? No. Okay.
We didn't think of anything like that. We had a trailer as well, so I was like, fuck. Here we go. This trailer's gonna fucking jackknife into the back of the thing. And I've already had a frame break, wheels fall off. Yeah. What's next?
This blizzard has got us. Yeah.
It was sick, but
yeah. So what was your favourite trip out of the US and Europe?
Europe was sick because it's so different there. Like US is cool, but it's still an English speaking country. Like it's very similar. Yeah. Like it's like you can get all the same shit.
Yeah.
You can here, except like selected things, obviously.
Yeah.
But Europe's like completely different. Like it's like a different world because no one people speak English, but it's like not
first language.
Yeah.
And you and I find it amazing how like close countries are to each other. Like you could cross borders like every like whatever, I don't know, the fucking drive or whatever. But like you look on the map and it's like there's like a few countries within like what New South Wales is kind of thing. Like you'd be crossing countries and it's like they can speak a completely different language.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That's insane about Europe, yeah.
Within like 3 days, you're in a completely like different speaking country. Like a lot of countries have like a basis of like you can find similarities in a lot of European countries.
Yeah.
But there's some that you just are like complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
And within like 2 days, 2-3 days, you're in the opposite.
You're
like, fuck, I don't know what to do. It's weird.
The joke that I made with them guys isn't going to roll down here.
Absolutely not. I'm going to have to explain it again in a different way.
Not that Aussie sarcasm gets picked up anywhere.
Impossible,
eh?
Impossible.
I think even some Aussies don't. Like I was saying to you before about like when I posted on the group and I was like, what is that? I was like, that had Mitch's name written all over it. He messaged me, I'm like, I'm joking, bro. But then like, I don't know, like, I don't know how like bad my sarcasm is because it's like so, I can be blunt for like real, like I can keep a straight face when I do it like all the time. And people like, I think get like cut at that sometimes. Like if you're too sarcastic all the time, they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, because they're vulnerable. They don't know what's real. They don't know what's real anymore.
I love that, vulnerable.
They don't know what's real anymore.
The perfect word, eh? Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they just don't know what's real.
Yeah.
People get really offensive.
Yeah, man, I got this like, I got this mate, and we're just like, actually no, I've got two mates. They're my best mates. They're completely different people, but we both have sarcastic, like just humour about us. And then we have to actually like about 3 times say like, oh no, I'm actually serious about this. Because like you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's just one of those things. I don't know how I'd be able to go like over into a country and like they don't pick up on my sarcasm straight away. I'd be like, oh fuck, I have to be like real proper.
The first time I was in Europe was like a massive culture shock. I had no idea what to do. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what do I say? I just like forgot how to speak because I just didn't really know what to do or say or anything like that. Like ordering food, I was like,
did you just have to like point at stuff?
Yeah.
Like just like point
and
at
I felt so fucking rude.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I so fucking uncultured? This is my first time. I'm sorry. This is my first time here. I've never been out of fucking Australia before. Give me a break.
Never been in Australia.
And they're like behind the counter, like, look at this fucking idiot.
Like,
basically.
Food for sure, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, I guess that's like, so what, was that the US trip, was that like one of the last things you did with bands, to like travel?
No, that was like one of the first.
So this was like this was like the peak, like very start of stuff, and then when you came back and like, did you do any more overseas tours? Did you?
Yeah, I did Europe 3 times and the US 3 times.
And how old were you on these first 2 trips?
23.
23, okay, yeah, right. So 23, and then when did things start to like, I guess, okay, so you went to Europe again twice, did you say?
3 times.
3 times, and Europe, US twice.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah,
So
all within the space of 3 years.
Man, that is insane. That is like the thing that when I think about, other than making music that is coming from you, like you being able to like communicate like a message that you might put into it. Other than that part, it's the part about like, oh my god, we sold out like in 3/4 of this place, or sold it out completely, and there's actually people coming to fucking watch it. It's like,
yeah,
that's insane. Like you're rocking up, and people know the fucking words to your music.
Yeah, on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's insane,
and then
man.
we did like I did one Australian tour with the band.
Yeah.
We're from here, and I did one Australian tour. It's just whack.
Do you reckon there's more of a culture for that kind of music over there?
So much more.
Yeah?
Yeah. Australia's more for like trophy eyes.
Okay.
Type stuff.
But even like they even had to alter their new stuff, you mean?
Yeah.
Not their like hardcore punk stuff. That was like,
because that's when my old band used to play with them.
They were fucking okay. I still listen to their shit now.
Same.
And like that song that I was telling you about is Choke.
Yeah.
In their
I
Men Move On album.
Yeah.
And that is insane. That was a mad song. That is a mad album. And so is the Everything Goes Away. Is that the very first EP that they did?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. They were insane. And like, but like, I actually online coached John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
like,
sick.
well, he just like he put up a thing and he was like, oh
What you do now? Or
yeah, I do now.
Oh,
like do
sick.
currently. So like he just put up a thing and he was like, oh, any PT friends like down in Melbourne that like can give me any info. I was like, why do you need to be in Melbourne? I'll just like write something up for you. So I was like talking back and forth to him. I just check in like every 2 weeks or something like that, because he was down in ISO, so he couldn't do anything. And he's like, oh man, I was trying to do like push-ups every day. I'm like, man, just do this. Like do the 3 days and build by 2 each day. And if you can go to Bunnings or something, go get some fucking water jugs and like squat with those and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but I was like listening to them from like their, like I think I heard them at Rad Bar like, for the first time. That's when I went and saw them first. Then I saw them.
That's before they got like PK.
Yeah, like they were doing that, and then they before Warp Tour, because I saw them again. They opened for Violent Soho at Trodgy Beach Hotel, and I remember that was like a Sunday night, and I had to drive down to Goulburn for work the next morning. That was terrible.
Perfect.
But they opened, and I'm like, boys, this is that band that I listened to. Yeah. And they're like, oh, like what band? I'm like, they're fucking bad, just go down. And there was like 10 people down the front. Everyone's waiting for Violent Soho. They're all like Triple J listeners, just waiting for Violent Soho. But that was like when Violent Soho brought out like Covered in Chrome and stuff like that. It was just like,
that's like the big one,
their big one. So like everyone was waiting for them. Everyone's outside like smoking and shit like that. So I'm like going like the front. It was just fucking awesome. Like it was so good.
Yeah. And
then it was just a couple more times like saw him in Sydney. But then like there's still glimpses of like that old, like the old vocals and stuff in some of the songs. But they just like, they've just gone more mainstream because that's how the band's gonna make it. Like.
Yeah, and that's like kind of what, I don't know. It's kind of what's popular now. Like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a natural progression. A lot of bands from back then that were doing like melodic hardcore, like fast, screamy stuff.
Yeah.
Are just like pop bands. Like not really pop bands, but
well, look, you
can be played on the radio in the middle of the day and it's totally fine.
The only band that I think has not changed over time is like, and it's still going, is Counterparts.
Yeah. They've gotten heavier.
Bro.
Progressively
but
heavier.
They're still like, but they're still like, good. Like they still play their same music, but they're like real popular too. Though. Incredible. But they just don't get paid on mainstream radio. Yeah. I walked into the because I went to the driving range yesterday, and you know how like someone will come on Triple J and be like, oh, tonight on Triple J, like at 10 o'clock when no one's really listening other than
it's like Lachlan's on there, like this is the racket.
Yeah. And then Creep, like the new Creep song by Alpha Wolf was on, and like me and my mate that went up there, like he loves that music too, and I'm like, fucking what's on the radio? And he's like, oh yeah, it's Alpha Wolf. I reckon Alpha Wolf are fucking sick too.
It's crazy when you hear shit like that on the radio. Yeah, it's like, this is so wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Like people are gonna be mad that this is on the radio.
Yeah, there was like one time that I was like just driving in the car and he came on and he put on And Still I Wander South by Knock Loose when the album first came out, and I'm just like, this is like middle of the day, it's like I should fucking, and I'm just kind of like laughing, because I'm like, imagine when a work site gets this put on, and then they're just going, what the fuck are they playing? And I'm just going, yes, this is so cool.
Like, and after that, Skeggs.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. It's like, shit.
After that, Skeggs, we're going to chill it right down.
Yeah. A bit of tuna sandwich. Fuck off. Triple J.
Oh, fuck. No, that's funny, man. Oh, fuck. What direction were we... Oh, yeah, we're talking about bands, like, going down that route. But, like, fucking Counterparts, still, I think they're the same. Trophy Eyes still have little bits. I believe deep down, they'd still like to play that kind of music.
Yeah.
Like, but... the slow transition happened like that... Chemical Miracle album that came out, and like there was some of that hardcore stuff in it, and then there was the softer stuff. And one of the things is you look at some bands and the stuff that you like is never really up in the thing. It's like never really kind of like their most played music anyway. It's usually the acoustic like emo stuff, you know, like the sad songs that get played over and over again by people that are sitting in their room just like
just going through it.
Fuck! Just broke up with my girlfriend.
Well, the same thing happened like with Bring Me the Horizon. Like when they brought out their first EP and album, they were like 17, 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
And then they just got progressively like softer.
Not softer. And legit, and it wasn't like each album, it was like as in like little parts of it. It was like they brought out an album and it dropped a whole fucking softened scale, like just softer and softer, and now
but it's still hard in like a weird way. Like, that Sempiternal album's like, it's not heavy, but it
gets you there.
So good. Yeah, it's enough. It's enough. I'm like, damn. Good.
But like, it's some of the songs. I think it's because like every second song is okay, and then you're just going, oh, okay. Shadow Moses, you had me. Like, like you really picked it up. Yeah. I just skipped over the last song and got to this one.
And they just got progressively like that, and a lot of bands do it. It just is what it is. Like, you can only play the same shit for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, the only bands that have really played the same music for that long is like Cannibal Corpse or something. Like they're just like brutal death metal since like 1980.
If we change, our fans go. Like, basically. If you change it all.
But like, that's what they're known for, you know what I mean? Like if they went softer, it'd be over.
I think if they start young too, they're able to make that transition as they grow.
Yeah. It's like Trophy Eyes was super young when they started. They were like the same age as like what we were, like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And it's taken them till like, I don't know, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they would have been like, I don't know. I don't even know how old they are. I don't know if they're my age or...
Yeah, I think John sent me a thing and he's a year older than me.
So he's younger than me. He's 26. I'm 27.
Yeah.
So it took them like 5 years to get to like that point.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of work, a lot of life too, eh? Like
heaps. Just countless weekends and afternoons, it's like jamming, writing music.
Yeah. And just like thinking of directions to go in, like... I guess the people that they hang out with too, because like you see like who they like so the last Trophy Eyes I went to was up at the University of Sydney. What's the one? And it's like, have you been to the stage? And it's like in the front, and the floor like kind of curves around, and then there's a step, and it's up at one of the Sydney University.
Manning Bar?
Yes, that's it. I went up there, and they had the singer of Slowly doing his solo stuff before it, which is fucking super chill. super chill. And I love Slow Slowly, but it was just so, like, it wasn't even there, like, because they've got some real good songs like Smile Lines and stuff that are a bit heavier. But it wasn't even that. It was like him just like sitting on the stage by himself,
just jamming,
playing an acoustic. That's my iPad.
Perfect.
But yeah, that's kind of like the mood that they set for when they come on. It's not like heavier and leading into it, but yeah.
Similar thing happened when Ghost Inside played that first show back.
Yeah.
Like after their big bus crash thing, whatever. They had a guy from Wage War. Have you heard Wage War?
What's that song? And like, I've got like one song I know that's like saved to
Stitch is sick.
Yeah, there's one song that I have like liked in my thing. So I'd like listen to a few songs, but I do have this one that's but yeah, I do know. Yeah,
Either way,
who they are.
Pretty heavy band.
Yeah.
They had like their guitar player or something do like an acoustic set before like the Ghost Inside played.
Yeah.
It's like a similar thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like you just have like an acoustic set before.
I think, bro, because like you look at something like someone like The Story So Far, right?
Yeah.
And they are like, when I listen to them, I want to listen to like real fast, punky stuff. I don't really like their new album that much, but their old stuff was good. Obviously, like once again, when I was younger. But like, their best song, most song played by millions is Clairvoyant, which is like a soft song. No, completely.
Great song though.
And yeah, it's a great song. It's a great song. And that's right. It's a great song. Yeah. Or someone like look, maybe not so as popular as that. Like we were talking the other day about Secret Keeper, and their most played song is I Thought That You Died. And they're like that's like one acoustic song out of like an album of like an EP of like 6 songs or whatever.
Yeah.
But that song has just been played so much more. It's I think people go down that acoustic route because of that.
It's easy to listen to.
Yeah.
It's like softer music's just easy to listen to. Like you can put it on background noise. It's fine.
Yeah. And then
just
someone can go. Then someone can go to you like, oh, yeah, I'll listen to this band. And it's like, oh, you've just listened to that acoustic song.
Yeah, that's like the trade-off.
Yeah.
It's what you have to deal with.
Oh, so you know this song? It's like, oh no, I don't listen to that part of the album.
Who the fuck is this? Is this the same band? Is there another band with the same name? Or?
Oh, I can't believe that there was that happened. That actually happened with a band that I was listening to. Damn it! Oh, you know what? It would have been someone like Trophy or something like that.
There's so many bands that have the same name. It pisses me off. It happens constantly. And
you can like you show them like one song, and they're like, oh yeah, that's like a song I like, and I go, oh, but what about this song? It's like, oh no, that's like too much. It's
too
like it's the same fucking band.
Yeah, it gets like that.
Yeah. So we like after all this traveling and stuff like that, like obviously you said that at the beginning you like were in sport at like 11 and 12 years old. Now we know each other from the CrossFit gym. So like, when did you get into like you're doing Olympic lifting now? Or did you start with CrossFit, and why did you start going down that route? Was it just after you stopped traveling, you were looking for something to do, or?
No, I just went to like Globo gyms before that for like years, really. Like I only started going to the gym because we were touring, and Ethan went to the gym, and I was like, fuck, I'll go to the gym. Got nothing else to do. Yeah. And then I just like started to really get into the gym. I was like, this is pretty cool.
So you can listen to your music.
Yeah.
That's the best music to listen to while you train. Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. So I was just doing like just entry level shit. Basically just like normal bodybuilding stuff.
Yeah.
Some compounds. Yeah. Compound lifts, cables.
Yeah.
Dumbbells. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Basically. And then I just started to get into like a little bit of powerlifting. So I was doing much less. Yeah. Way less reps.
Yeah.
Much more rest.
Someone gave you the option of doing 5x5s, and you're like,
yeah, it's more 3x3. It was more 3x3. But then by that time, that's when I started touring. So I was like, okay, I've wanted to tour, like I've wanted to be in a band that toured for longer than I've been going to the gym. I'm just going to chill in the gym for a bit. Yeah. I'm going to go back and just do all music. Just like focus all my energy on music.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I just got super fat, like touring. Like you just get super unfit. It's so bad. Like,
in the US, just on big burgers and shit.
And it's like so bad. Like you don't have any routine. Like you sleep maybe, I don't know, 3 hours a night, 4 hours a day, night, whatever. Every night for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And like you don't really have a lot of. There's no food.
Is that because you're like out with the boys and stuff like that? Is that why?
And that's because like you play, you drive, you play, you drive.
Okay.
You play, you drive.
So the sleeping is like when it's not your turn to drive kind of thing. Okay.
And if you can't sleep in vans, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
I had to learn how to sleep in vans.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's pretty bad. So I just got really unhealthy, like everywhere, like physically, like mentally unhealthy.
It all compiles, hey.
Yeah. It came on very fast because like it came on as quick as the opportunity to do it came on.
Yeah.
Within like I don't know 6 months, I was like, whoa.
People legit think like I don't know, like there's like a movement like even like at the moment where people are like, oh, like if you're fat but you can be happy with it, that's okay. I'm like, you can't be happy with that because you're eating stuff like that your body doesn't like want. That's why you are like so excessively overweight. Like I just don't know. It would be like you gotta have that balance. Like being overweight is never healthy, so you'll never feel good.
Yeah.
But continue. Like so, you got to that point, and
so I just got like super unhealthy, like touring, not sleeping, just eating shit food, not exercising. Really, the only exercise I would have was like 30 minutes on stage, and it was like not really exercise. I mean, it was, but it wasn't like.
You've been sweating your ass off, but yeah.
So I just got really unhealthy. So after what tour was it? I'd done stop training, did Europe, did the US, did Europe again, and did the US. So after the second US tour, I was like, I need to fucking do something pretty bad.
So that was like what, 3 years
like 2
of
years,
like kind of training a little bit.
Yeah, so I was like, I was just
let yourself
dabbling. I wasn't like
just like
fully into it. I wasn't
dipping
like
your toe in.
Yeah, I wasn't dieting or anything like that. I was just making sure I drank water and didn't eat much McDonald's at the time. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So after the second US tour, I was like, okay, I need to like go back to the gym and do some shit. And that's when I was like, I don't really want to do bodybuilding because it was just boring at the time. Like I was like, not boring, but I was like, I'm not going to satisfy. Like I can't be satisfied with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because like I was like everything was so high paced. Like I was like constantly moving around, just doing shit like that. I didn't want to be like in the gym for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just like chilling, just doing 5x12.
Yeah.
Of everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, what the fuck is CrossFit? I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. I seen it on TV once. I was like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So
I looked it up and I was like, found a gym, like our gym, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the first one that came up.
But you're still living down in Shillabah.
Yeah.
And Wollongong CrossFit was the first one to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was like other ones, but I knew people at that gym, and I was like, I'm not going there. I was like, I'm not going there. Like there was ones that were close to me. That was like people from my school, like in my year. That I was like, I don't fucking like you. I'm not going to that gym.
Yeah.
So I just didn't. I was like, that's the closest one.
Yeah.
And I've just been there ever since, basically.
Yeah, mad.
I did CrossFit for like a year and a half. That was it.
Even I haven't lasted that long to just do full CrossFit.
Yeah.
Did you just do like the classes?
I did the classes for about 2 months.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Did you
and
do the
then
classes
I was with Luke and Zach and everyone pretty much straight away.
Okay, yeah.
So I pretty much just got like a base of what was what, how to do things, and then I just went straight training with Luke and Zach.
Yeah, mad. And now you just pretty much do your own thing.
Yeah.
And you still hang out there. Yeah. That's right.
It's weird. They don't even go there. Luke and Zach's never there. I'm still there, but they're not there.
Yeah, well,
it's like, why am I still fucking here?
Well, you like go in the afternoons, and I see them there in the morning.
Yeah, they do mornings.
And then now because they're doing the afternoons at NSPC or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They just go there until their comp's done.
Yeah. I still see them like twice a week.
Yeah.
As opposed to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
For like a year and a half.
It's a crazy group of guys. It's like they're like that group, like similar to what I was saying about you hanging out with like guys that play music. Like it's easy to get into it, like because they're just their group of mates, and none of them like really drink or anything like that. It's very easy not to drink, like you know, like they can kind of go, oh no, we're not drinking today. It's like, oh okay, but they still like they probably still go out and like grab a feed at Subway. It's not like they're all going, oh no, we're hitting this many macros today or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
They still got a chilled life. They're just not because alcohol fucks it. Because you don't drink, do you?
I've never drunk.
Never drunk in your life.
No.
What's the reason for that?
Just never been about it.
Never been about it?
No.
Yeah, right.
Not really.
That's crazy. So like when you were touring and everything, your band, the band that you're in drank and stuff, or what?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Like Mark, who used to sing in the versions, he was like pretty big on weed and shit, but I was like, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
No one really drunk though. Like
okay.
Mick, who played guitar, he would have like a beer every now and then. Like Liam would have one. Jaden didn't drink at all, really. Yeah. He did. I've seen Jaden drunk twice.
Yeah.
I've spent most of the last like 4 years.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah.
5 years probably.
Yeah.
4. And yeah, I've seen him drunk twice, something like that.
You don't have an X tattooed on your hand, do you? Not consider yourself
straight
edge?
Yeah,
You're full straight edge?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. You'd never get tempted to or anything like that? Not now, eh? Like not when
not
you
even
get...
back then.
Yeah, okay.
Not even when I was like 17, 18, 19 or
yeah,
like
right.
whatever.
Okay.
I don't really care.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we'll wrap it up here.
It's all fucking Davey Havoc from AFI, man.
What?
He's straight edge. He's been straight edge his whole life.
Straight edge?
Yeah.
Got his hand up?
No, but I think he's got X's somewhere else. I think. I don't know where.
Straight edge is like just like no alcohol, no
drugs. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
He's like vegan. He's like hard vegan straight edge.
Okay. Oh, whoa, vegan
yeah,
too.
hard vegan straight edge.
Yeah, right.
What a
so shout out to him.
What a god.
Shout out to him then.
What a god. There's so many people that have straight edge that you don't even realise, eh? Especially in like hardcore music.
Yeah, probably like a
lot of them don't like preach it because the ones that preach are usually like the fakes that like sell out pretty quick.
They're like saying
they're the full posers. Like we don't fuck with the posers.
Yeah.
The real hard ones are like the good ones that don't really say anything. They just chill.
Yeah.
It's the best.
That's it. It's like you, man. You chill.
Like not hardly anyone would even know that I don't drink.
No. They do now. Probably about maybe 50 people that listen to this. if they get to this, I reckon there's going to be a while in. But
50 people and they go.
Yeah. Right, man. Well, thanks for coming.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
There we go.
We'll do another one.
Fucking no, that flowed so well. I'm sweating.
That's quite a long time.